This week's work on the cottage has been mainly tidying, clearing, getting the place ready for building work. So I started off the week just giving the house a really good hoover. My boyfriend Josh came over to help me start clearing some of the pathway in the garden, and I eventually went a bit more heavy-handed with the garden clearing. But we just started by removing the bits that were in the way. I gave the tree a little trim to stop it from hanging over the gutters too much. Then Mum and Dad came over that same day and we did some serious clearing in the garden and it did look a lot better for it. I have some alternative plans for this garden, which I'm sure I'll explain at a later date, but it felt good to tame the garden a little bit. I'm trying to decide where everything could go in this room, and I'm measuring up how much room the sofa would take. So I'd have to get rid of the door. But I could replace that on the other side with a sliding door, so then you walk in and have the sofa there. And we put the garden chair and table there. See what that looks like. The sofa would fit over here, but it wouldn't fit width-ways over there. Oh, it's going to be quite a struggle.
Set aside every empty spreadsheet.
I'm going to have some sort of very small table and chairs over here. And I probably could put a little bench seat along the wall and round the back, and then it could have storage underneath. I might sketch out a little plan. So whatever sofa I go for, this is the measurements of the one I really love the look of. This is where the sofa would go. Let's do some sketching. Sketch out this room. So this is the room. Excuse my shoddy drawing skills. I was thinking probably just remove all of the shelving that is on this side so you don't hit your head when you go around there to sit down. And that can go right the way back into the alcove. So I've got a bench seat there of some sort, and underneath I'm going to upholster some cushions that can go on that. Probably put some big comfy cushions behind. Okay, I've made the cushions that make the thing look really rude. Okay, table there, and then like one chair. Have room for one chair. And then the sofa will go over here. And then I don't know what to do over here in the alcove. I guess I did want to box in with a cabinet, so I'll probably put a cabinet that comes up to about waist height, or I'll either do like a full height cabinet, just because sometimes open shelving can be really hard to just keep tidy all the time. That could be a cute little cupboard, and you'll have the sense of open space over here behind the other alcove, because I won't be having anything there. If I do, it'll be high up. So I think that's starting to get somewhere with where I can put everything. Kitchen entrance is here, and then radiator is like right here. So I think that's what's going to be the easiest thing to do. And then when I've got other people over and they can't fit on the sofa, they can just chill out on this bench. And then when you've got a bench, you don't really have limitations to how many people can sit on it. I might be able to build some sort of shelving unit that goes on top of, like right at the ceiling, along here. And then I could put a rug down, maybe. If I need a rug. The rug could go just under the sofa bit before the seating. I might actually see how easy it will be to take out that horrible marble bit on the fireplace. I might put a little cafe curtain in, or just a very light voile curtain that can be pulled across quite easily, because I don't want to block the nice view into the garden, because that's like the main reason to put this bench here, So I think that'll be okay. I might need to find a smaller sofa. But, I mean, maybe I will, maybe I won't. Let's see how far out a bench would go. So, to get into this bench over there, you probably have to go through here, around to here, to be able to sit on the bench. Unless we have the table right against it. I don't like putting things right against the wall, but it might have to happen in this house. And then the tables. Or I just have it so that there's just a bench seat in that corner over there, and I don't bother bringing it around and under. And then I can have the table pushed right up against the window. That'll probably be a lot easier, actually, just having the bench seat in that corner and not bringing it around. God, it looks so different. Now, you could easily go around there and sit down there. I mean, I could probably still have the top one there. Yeah, could have some sort of shelf up there, couldn't I? And then maybe over here behind the sofa I can put some big mirrors up. Or like maybe a big mirror along the back of the sofa. And then as soon as you put mirrors in, everything starts to look so much bigger. Or a full-length mirror just there, perhaps. And then that would reflect the light coming in from the back door back there. Getting ideas. Get ideas. Cool. Okie dokie. And we cleared a lot of the garden today, and the allotment area. That's not really a priority area at the moment. I just want to get it cleared so that it doesn't take over. Yeah, I might go around with my film camera now and take some pictures of the house as it is before too much happens to it. So this is a little back courtyard at my house, and it had some crazy overgrown ivy coming over from the neighbouring house. I've not met the neighbour that owns this house. I think it's a farm. So, I mean, I think it's like in the corner somewhere, and they've got lots of land, and they probably really don't care about this bit of ivy. So we chopped that way back just so that we could see the state of the wall and just get a bit more light in the courtyard because it's a bit dingy and very shaded. As always with these jobs, I think I'm doing a great job, and then a boy takes over and does it at like triple speed. And I'm like, okay, you can take over. Kind of a shame that the ivy had gone so crazy, because there's also an apple tree right next to it which has some really pretty branches that are coming over, but they can't get over because of the ivy. So we were trying to see if there was a way we could maybe get the ivy down more and get that apple tree to grow over, but I don't think there's a way. So we spent a while clearing that.
I've got better things to do. Okay, to leave a little bit undone. And be the cat.
We then had the hilarious task of trying to fit the bag full of ivy through the tiny back door, and it was a struggle. That was all we did in the back courtyard for now. We just wanted to see what the wall looked like, really. I'm making lunch for my parents, who have been hard at work in the garden all day. I've been at home editing a video and doing washing and generally trying to keep up with my life at the same time as coming over here all the time now. So I've got the oven on, no idea if it's on the right setting. Looks about right. And I'm just baking up some part-baked sourdough rolls, which are really good. They're from Sainsbury's. And I'm just gonna make some funky sandwiches for us all. So that's what I'm doing now. And then I also bought a load of swatches with me today to have a look at in the house, see what they look like here, and just try and get some more ideas, because I need to start making decisions, I guess, at some point.
Be the cat in the sun.
I've samples that I've been ordering. It's not actually that many. This is the only flooring sample I've ever picked up. This is from Wix. It's Clovelly Light Oak. And I usually really don't like this sort of flooring, but it actually looks quite nice. So I just don't really know what I want to do with the floors yet. So these are all my Rowan & Wren fabric swatches for the sofa. Can you tell I'm indecisive? So I definitely don't think I want a colourful stripe. If I have any stripe, it would be this one, but I'm just not sure that I would want a stripe. I don't think it really suits this room. Striped sofas look so cute, but I've actually recently reupholstered one in a stripe ticking, so probably don't need a striped sofa too. I love this pinky peachy linen, but I just don't know if I'm going to always love a peachy pink linen, and I want a sofa to last pretty much forever. But I'm going to try all of these in different areas of the room, see what they look like in different lights. I love the slub linen, but I just don't think it's going to last all that well with Florrie, because she likes to do that on the sofa. And then I have 2 wool samples, which are really nice. The grey is so practical, but it's just too dark for this room, I think. So maybe this wool could be really nice. I don't know if I am going to have wood flooring in here. I might end up having carpet. Let's see what they would look like. I mean, they're all going to look nice. They're not horrible fabrics. I then have a few Farrow & Ball paint samples left over from when I did my wardrobes. And I did that in matchstick. And I'm going to try that on the walls. Might as well try it in some other areas. I also brought along a load of textiles from home that I know that I might want somewhere in this house. So I thought they could be useful. I'm trying to choose sofa colours, and now I'm thinking about the dark grey again. But I also am quite liking the natural Belgian linen. I have a load of this really lovely checked velvet at home that I bought years ago in the cloth house, and I thought that would look really nice as the bench seat. I also have all of these gorgeous samples from Howe at 36 Bourne Street. These are pretty expensive, but I've just followed them and loved them for so long. Look at that wallpaper. Oh, it's gorgeous. I don't think I'll be wallpapering anywhere. I'm not sure, I just thought I'd get some ideas. And then these are their fabric swatches. We then gathered up a load of just the random rubbish that had been left at the house and went to the tip. And then I went to a reclamation yard near me just to look for ideas and see if there was anything interesting there. This one was very expensive and I didn't really actually like anything apart from some of these nice kitchen cabinets, and I loved this settle. I think you'd call it a settle, this like bench. I'm thinking, I wonder if I could make that. Probably not, but sadly it was way too big for the space I wanted it to go in. My dad went up into the attic that day and found this old tin, which was empty, but the contents had expired in 1929, which I found pretty funny. The next day I decided I was going to start restoring this front porch window, which was in need of some serious love. This was one of the original windows in the house, and I don't think it had been touched in years. I don't think people had painted it for a long time, or if they had, they'd kind of painted it so that it was not closing properly, so it was really annoying me. So I watched some YouTube videos and figured out how to repair windows, and it had quite a lot of wood rot at the bottom. As you can see, I didn't actually film any of the drilling into that bit because I did that with Mum, and I was kind of despairing about how much rot there actually was in the window, but it was fine. We drilled into it, got as much of the rotten wood out as we could, and then put wood hardener on it, let that dry, put another layer on, and then the next day I went in and started filling. I picked up this tiny pot and then soon realised I was going to need a lot more.
Come on, soft, turn the key and cooler on. This a pause for relief. Free pass, you don't
That weekend I'd also been to Fired Earth and I picked up some more samples to have a play with.
in the sun. Someday I will see the whole deal through.
I'm currently at the house. I've just been to Tool Station. Oh yeah. Had a bit of chocolate cake left over that my mum made. So I'm just having some of this before I tackle the window filling again. Look, who else is here to help with me? Florrie, what are your DIY credentials? Are you any good at sanding? Or maybe wood filling? No? What would you be good for? Florrie just wants to run around in the garden, really, and bark at the cats that live here. It's going to be quite interesting doing cat training with Florrie. I've got the scaffolders coming at the end of the week, so in about 2 days' time, I think, and then next week they fix the roof and some damp issues. I'm going to finish fixing this window. Are you going to help me, or are you going to find your new friends? This is the window after I'd done a second wood fill, and I'd picked up some much better wood filler that was like a powder, and then you mix it with water, and I really like it. And then I did a third layer and got it so that it was really built up, and I went in and sanded it down so that it was nice and flat.
In the sun.
Then gave the inside of the window a little sand down so that when I come to paint the window, it'll be all ready and sanded. I'm going to have to finish the rest of the window at some later point because the scaffolders arrived and there is now scaffolding in front of the windows. So I can't really access the windows very easily. So that's going to have to be done once the roof is fixed. And the builders have also started work. They are damp proofing the front porch. So he's knocked off all the plaster and they're doing some sort of fancy thing. Also, very excitingly, we pulled up the carpet in the front porch, which I hadn't done yet. I'd pulled up the carpet in the living room and the kitchen, and that's all concrete. But in the front porch, there were actually tiles, and they were covered in this weird stuff, but I'm hoping I can get that off and get the tiles back. So I have to stay tuned and come back to see if I can do that. So this area is actually my allotment space, and it's a huge space, really. So I'm very excited to start growing things here, but it's not been looked after properly in a long time. My neighbours are using one of the beds to grow some veg in. Their veg is doing very well, so I'm not touching it. And then eventually they're going to move it onto their bed of garden, and I'm going to turn probably most of that back bit into beds for veg or flowers. And Mum and Dad were just helping me clear the area. I have my favourite new tool, which is the strimmer. I don't usually like power tools, but I'm loving the strimmer.
This a pause for relief.
Those are all the updates for the week. Not much has happened, but also lots is starting to happen. So it's very exciting. And hopefully you guys will stick around and see how it turns out. I hope you're all having a great day, and I will see you in my next video.
I will see the